In this demonstration, you'll learn how to create a dive page for your DiveTab site. Like an ad hoc page, a dive page lets end users perform queries on the fly, allowing them to switch dimensions and dive on dim count values. On a dive page, however, the dim count values do not appear in columns on the screen as they do on an ad hoc page. To conserve space on the screen, DiveTab displays the dim count values in the context menu for each dimension value. A dive page has a tabular structure with the dimension on the left and one or more summary columns on the right. Let's take a closer look at the dimension column. Using the context menu for this column, you can sort the column, find values in the column, and switch dimensions. The dive arrow next to each dimension value indicates the user can dive on that value to explore the data further. The user right-clicks or taps and holds a dimension value to display the list of dimensions available for diving on. Note that the dimension choices that appear in the context menu are determined by the script for the page. Users cannot add or remove dimensions on the context menu on a dive page using the Options button, as they can on an ad hoc page. Nor can they use the Options button to add or remove multi-columns from the page. As the developer, however, you can specify multi-columns in a script for a dive page. Let's do a dive on dimension value Southeast to break out the revenue data for that region by salesperson. The dimension column now lists all 18 salespeople, and the numbers in the summary columns now show how the values break down by salesperson. For example, if we look at the entry for Donovan in the list of salespeople, we see that the revenue Donovan has brought in for this month to date is $328,885. Notice also that a breadcrumb trail has appeared above the data area, showing us the choices we've made in our dive and allowing us to back up to a previous point in that dive. Let's back up to the starting point of our dive by clicking or tapping Sales Region Southeast. Now let's look at the quick views on this dive page. These quick views allow you to filter the data by product family, sales region, salesperson, and ship year month. Right now, for example, the report is showing the data for all 53 salespeople. If you want to look at the data for just one salesperson, you click or tap the Salesperson Quick View and select a name from the resulting list. The month-to-date revenue, year-to-date revenue, and year-to-date gross profit summary columns now reflect the data for salesperson Braun, a member of the Northeast sales team, only. Let's click the Reset button to return the quick views to the way they were configured when we first opened the page. Note that all the data page types, ad hoc pages, central pages, cross pages, dive pages, overview pages, and report pages, can include quick views. Next, we'll take a look at the DiveTab script for this page. Our dive page is defined in a DiveTab script called yearlyrevenue.divetab. Let's look at the script a few lines at a time. Here are the first few lines of the script Workbench generated for us automatically when we created the script using the command File New DiveTab Module. We made 3 edits here. First, we changed the default data area ID from data area number 2 to something more meaningful, yearly revenue. Second, we added the title tag, which creates a title for the button that links to the page. And third, we added the icon tag to specify the icon we want to display on the button. The Sections tag adds the dive page to the list of pages you can access with the Sections button. Now let's look at the next few lines of script. The Dive Page tag specifies the type of data area you're creating and dictates the types of operations the user can perform with the remaining elements in the code block. Let's look at the dimension tag here for a moment as an example. You can specify dimension tags in many different types of data areas, but each dimension tag will enable a slightly different set of functions depending on the type of data area in which it is defined. We'll look at the dimension tag again in a moment. For now, let's go back to the title tag. The title tag specifies the title that will appear at the top of the DiveTab page. The C-plan tag specifies the location of the C-plan that contains the data you want to display on the page. The remaining tags let you indicate which parts of the C-plan, which dimensions and summary columns, will be represented on the Dive page. A Quick View dimension tag specifies a dimension for which you want to create a quick view. The name that follows the Quick View dimension tag is the column name of the dimension in the C-plan, in this case the column name Product Family. The dimension tag specifies the dimension that appears on the page by default, meaning each time the user accesses the page. The name that follows the dimension tag is the column name of the dimension in the C-plan, in this case the column name Product Family. The DimCount dimension tags play a dual role on a Dive page. First, they specify the dimensions the user can switch to using the context menu in the column heading of the dimension column. Second, they specify the dimensions the user can dive on using the context menu available for each dimension value. Now let's look at the final lines in our script. The text tag specifies the text you want to use as the heading for a summary column, and the column tag specifies the column in the C-plan that contains the summary data you want to display. In our example, the third summary column has the heading Year-to-Date Gross Profit, and the data in that summary column comes from column Profit YTD in the C-plan. The Value Format tag specifies how the values in the summary column appear on the page. In our example, the Value Format tag results in values that contain $signs and use the comma as a thousands separator. One last note about how one script connects with another. The script for the main menu was the first script we created for our DiveTab site and is the script that opens when we open our site. To give users access to the Dive page, we must include a reference to the Dive page in the script for the main menu. Notice that the main menu includes an import area tag that specifies the path name of our Dive page, yearlyrevenue.divetab. With this tag, the main menu script has access to the Dive page, which in turn enables users to access the data on the page. So those are the script elements that let you create a Dive page for a DiveTab site.